It's Friday, September 5th. In the headlines, CARICOM Observer Mission applauds Jamaica's general election. Regionally, Caribbean airline suspends Venezuela flights for September. And in sports, Jamaica's head coach Steve McLaren urges caution ahead of crucial World Cup qualifier against Bermuda. This is the Weekend News on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaica has earned high praise from regional observers for the smooth conduct of the September 3 general election. The Caribbean Community CARICOM Election Observation Mission says there were no reports of voter intimidation or harassment, and the process reflected the will of the Jamaican people. The mission, led by Fern Francis, made its assessment after monitoring polling activities across 36 constituencies in 12 parishes. She shared her findings at a media briefing held Thursday at the Jamaica Progressive Hotel.
The teams noted that representatives of the two major political parties were present in all areas observed. Polling stations were also conveniently located and accessible to the electorate. Adequate security was in place at all locations, with the officers displaying a very professional approach, which contributed to the level of calm that accompanied the day's activities. Throughout the day, the poll workers remained resolute and steadily carried out the required procedures, ensuring that the electors who turned out were able to register their vote.
The use of electronic voter identification system and the election center were also applauded.
The mission observed that the electronic voter identification system, also known as EVIS machines, generally performed effectively throughout polling stations were deployed. While in some stations there were technical issues, the EOJ's contingency planning appeared to ensure continuity in operations, enabling voters to exercise their franchise without impediment. As Chief of Mission, I also had the opportunity to visit the election center of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica on polling day. The mission observed that the center functioned effectively as a central hub for monitoring electoral operations nationwide. The atmosphere reflected a high level of collaboration and cooperation.
CARICOM observers also commended Jamaica for leading the region in electoral reforms, especially in political party registration and campaign financing.
So there are a number of features in your process that quite highly commendable and they work very well, and certainly we were all very excited to see those types of organizations and how they operated.
Ms. Narcisse said a full report with recommendations for strengthening the electoral process will be submitted to the CARICOM Secretary General before being made public. The Jamaica Progressive Party says it's not backing down despite failing to win a single seat in Wednesday's general election. JPP President Gilbert Edwards says in a statement the party is, quote, retooling, listening, and returning stronger, end quote. The JPP contested 47 seats across the country, but its candidates received just over 2,000 votes in total, falling short of a significant showing. Still, Mr. Edwards remains optimistic. He thanked supporters and candidates. The party also extended congratulations to the Jamaica Labour Party on its victory, winning 34 of the 63 seats in Parliament. And it acknowledged the People's National Party for its ongoing role in the country's democracy. The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, in partnership with the Organization of American States, has announced the launch of a national cybersecurity youth training and certification program aimed at empowering young Jamaicans with high-demand skills in cybersecurity and information technology. According to a bulletin issued by the ministry, the program will run from September 29, 2025 to March 31, 2026, and it's open to Jamaican nationals aged 18 to 25 who reside locally and demonstrate a strong interest in information technology and/or cybersecurity. The training will be delivered in a hybrid format, combining both virtual and in-person sessions, and will be facilitated by the SANS Institute, a globally recognized leader in cybersecurity education and certification. Participants will be engaged in 2 core courses: computers, technology, and security training, as well as artificial intelligence, security essentials for business leaders. Applications and further details on enrollment are expected to be released in the coming weeks. Jamaica's legal system has gone digital in a big way. After years in the making, the government officially launched the Jamaica Legal Information Portal, an online platform giving the public easy access to the nation's laws, constitution, and key legal documents. Officials say the initiative marks a major milestone in making justice more transparent, accessible, and citizen-friendly.
It's a project years in the making. The Jamaica Legal Information Portal, or JLIP, first took shape on September 28, 2020, when Cabinet approved additional financing under the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project. That decision set the stage for a US $295,700 contract with European consulting firm Softengi to bring the vision to life. But why was such a platform needed?
So there's currently no official website in Jamaica that provides information on a wide range of legal literature. No central portal exists solely for this purpose. The publication of the laws of Jamaica has had a long history, but throughout that history, it can be admitted that the access to publication has been limited to the few who are aware of its existence and who knew at the time to access them. The JLIP is a centralized repository online platform established to first of all improve public access to the laws of Jamaica.
For government leaders, JLIP's launch represents a major milestone in the digital transformation of justice.
Today's launch can best be described as a testament of the dedicated, meticulous approach by my colleague minister and her team in the quest towards further improving and simultaneously broadening the digital and technological reach of Jamaica's justice system.
This portal is already populated with several decades of the laws. Gazette publications, specifically proclamations, rules and regulations, and the annual acts of the Parliament of Jamaica, as well as the latest publication of the revised laws of Jamaica. So our objective for phase 2 is to have the portal populated with all the laws dating back to Jamaica's independence. Once completed, subsequent phases will provide access to the revised laws of Jamaica, and I'm talking about all editions from the 19th century to the present. The annual acts of Jamaica from the 17th century to the present. The Jamaica Gazette publications, all of them before independent Jamaica in 1962. Law reform related judgments and judgments of the Supreme Court related to or linked to legislation. Resources and information concerning legislative development, and the Hansard, Now, Hansard is the official record of Parliament containing debates on bills in the House of Representatives and the Senate.
Now, let's show you how to search for a law. If you know the name of the law you're looking for, just type it into the search bar and click Search. Say, for example, you want to find the Access to Information Act. Type it in, click Search, and you'll see the Act appear on screen. Just one click does the trick. There's also an advanced search option if you want to search by legal topics. Let's try looking for the topic Citizen and Nationality as an example. You'll see a list of laws related to that topic appear right away. Next, we'll go to the library page. Here, the laws are grouped into categories to make them easier to browse. You'll see two main types of laws listed. The Laws of Jamaica, which are the yearly collection of new laws passed by Parliament, and the Revised Laws, which are the edited and consolidated versions published periodically. You can explore this page by scrolling alphabetically or by year, whichever you prefer.
In our Unfiltered feature this week, stress can be detrimental to your health, and as such, it is of importance that we find coping mechanisms. Chanel Matthews took to the streets to find out how people handle their stress.
How do you cope with stress?
I cope with stress by being with nature. I like to read, talking to my friends, listening to music. For nature, immediately I come to Hope Gardens, surrounded by the beautiful trees, the birds making noise, and just walking around, relieving that type of stress, taking deep breaths, exhaling and stuff like that. I like to read self-awareness books that teaches me where I can learn something from to grow myself and my mind and how I deal with people, because my job is stressful, so I need that to alleviate that type of stress when dealing with people.
I'm a gamer, so I tend to game a lot, playing FIFA, Call of Duty sometimes on my phone. Sometimes I watch some reels, IG, YouTube. It's good to have some comedic relief in your life, so laugh a little. Yeah, that's pretty much how I handle my stress.
To be honest, I listen to music, play video game, sometimes I drink. But drinking is not the right way, I learned that since lately, so the stress will still be there. So sometimes you have to just speak to a good friend who you can trust, talk about it, relax, pray. Yeah, and listen to music. Music is life, Yes.
Stress can drive you insane. Once it gets to you mentally, it will take advantage of you. So I try to put everything in God's hand and handle it the best way I can, step by step, slowly but surely. I try to focus on what's most important and avoid letting it get the best of me.
With me I always listen to music. If it is not country music, reggae music, pop, soul, anything that I am a music girl, so I always listen to music and those stuff. So that is how I cope with stress.
Time now for the business report.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. The Jamaica Stock Exchange will host its third Regional Investment and Capital Markets Conference from October 7 to 8 at the Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center in Georgetown, Guyana. The event will be held under the theme Partnering for Market Development, Capital Collaboration, Connectivity, and Climate. Speakers will be drawn from Guyana, the wider Caribbean, Europe, North America, and Africa. President of the Pensions Industry Association, Sanya Goff, is warning that too many women are leaving themselves financially vulnerable in retirement. She told RJR News that women spend an average of 10 years outside the labor force caring for families and are often paid less and promoted less when employed. Mrs. Goff pointed to the case of a retired public servant who struggled to access pension benefits and stressed that parents should not rely on children for support in old age. For the trading period ending September 4, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited Jamaican dollar shares with 1,503,014 units traded, representing 16.76% of market sales volume. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited US dollar shares with 1,002,606 units traded, representing 11.18% of market sales volume. Investment house Sterling Investments Limited with 967,647 units traded, representing 10.79% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On September 4, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $52.62 million purchased and US $50.19 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.64 per dollar, selling the US at $161.25 and buying the US at $159.61. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $6.21 per transaction, with selling at $118.84 and buying at $112.63. The British pound yielded Forex traders $1.47 in profits, with selling at $216.91 and buying at $215.44. For our credit report tip of the day, have you ever heard someone say, "Don't worry, that debt will drop off in a few years"? Or you may be thinking, "The bank will fix your credit report for you." These myths sound comforting, but they're dangerous. Debt doesn't just fade away, and banks don't manage your credit for you. Meanwhile, your financial goals like buying a home, going back to school, or starting a business get pushed further out of reach. The only way forward is taking charge of your credit yourself. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, Caribbean Airlines has announced the immediate suspension of all flights to Venezuela for September, citing operational adjustments amid recent regional developments and security concerns. The decision comes at a time of heightened tensions between Venezuela and its neighbors, with military buildups and diplomatic warnings prompting governments across the region to remain on high alert. The details in this report.
Regional carrier Caribbean Airlines has suspended its service to Venezuela for the rest of September 2025. Effective immediately, flights between Trinidad and Caracas will no longer operate for the month. No reason was given for the withdrawal. However, just recently, the United States conducted a deadly military strike against an alleged drug boat tied to the cartel Tren de Agua. It was confirmed on Tuesday by President Donald Trump. The U.S. president stated that 11 people were killed in the strike in international waters.
Massive amounts of drugs coming into our country to kill a lot of people, and everybody fully understands that. In fact, you see it. You see the bags of drugs all over the boat, and they were hit. Obviously, they won't be doing it again, and I think a lot of other people won't be doing it again when they watch that tape.
CNN previously reported that the U.S. military was deploying more than 4,000 Marines and sailors to the waters around Latin America and the Caribbean as part of a ramped-up effort to combat drug cartels. According to two U.S. defense officials, this show to force has given the president a broad range of military options should he want to further target drug cartels. In related developments, the government of Guyana has issued a statement expressing grave concern over the threat to peace and security in the region posed by transnational organized crime and narco-terrorism.
Leaders from the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility and the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank joined the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean and the Caribbean Development Bank in calling for greater collaboration to build resilience amid intensifying risks. The leaders have gathered in Barbados for the second wider Caribbean Regional Risk Conference, taking place at the Wyndham Grand Barbados in St. Philip. CBC News' Deanza Roberts has more.
CAF's regional head, Dr. Stacey Richards Kennedy, underscored that resilience must go beyond physical defenses to include financial flexibility. She highlighted CAF's US $500 million regional contingency facility, which gives government rapid access to emergency funding and climate contingency clauses.
We know that when a disaster strikes, speed and precision matter. This is why, in addition to our rapid response humanitarian grant funding, CAF created national contingent credit lines for emergencies in particular. And our board approved a regional contingent facility amounting to US $500 million. This allows shareholder countries to access fast disbursing financing of 10 to 50 million US dollars for immediate response to restore basic services and even to support preventive action when an extreme event is imminent.
President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Daniel Best, is warning that economic fragility and social inequality are converging into what he called a polycrisis.
When children are denied access to quality, equitable education, their potential is stifled, and our future workforce is diminished. And when young people, women and men alike, can't find decent work in our region, frustration grows. Talent is wasted and innovation stalls. If any individual is excluded from healthcare, the cost is borne by everyone through rising public spending, weaker productivity, and declining community well-being. If women, persons with disabilities, indigenous peoples, and marginalized communities are locked out of opportunity, we lose the creativity, dynamism, and diversity that fuel inclusive growth for our region.
An empowering digital literacy program designed to equip senior citizens with the skills and confidence to thrive in today's connected world. TTT News' Sherilyn Lewis tells us more about this initiative by the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Digital literacy is crucial for the senior population as it empowers them to stay connected, access vital services, and navigate the increasingly digital world. And the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago is doing their part to ensure that happens.
The Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago launched the ICTs for Seniors initiative, which was hosted across multiple ICT Access TT centers in Trinidad and Tobago. The program comprises educational sessions, providing seniors with essential digital skills and promoting inclusion in the digital world. TAT CEO Curly Prescott said it's about opening new doors to inclusion, independence and empowerment in an increasingly digital society.
It's about exposing our elderly citizenry to technology, helping them be more comfortable, helping them be familiar, so to speak, with what they can do. Obviously, one of the objectives of the government of Trinidad and Tobago is to ensure that access to digital technology is universal and there's full inclusion of all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So this is part of that effort.
And he believes the ICT program aims to promote independence by empowering older adults to manage their health, finances, and daily tasks without relying heavily on others.
So this is now exposing them to AI, right? We have another topic around using WhatsApp effectively. We have a topic around communicating, sending emails from mobile devices. And our critical topic, of course, as people get more and more familiar with and involved in using digital technology, we have a topic around identifying deepfakes and stopping the spread of misinformation. Because of course, everybody's via WhatsApp sending you some meme or some article, that kind of stuff, some video of something. So we want to help them to understand that hey, not just because you receive something doesn't mean it's not necessarily true.
In sports, we kick off the report with news on football. Jamaica's head coach, Steve McLaren, emphasized the importance of respecting Bermuda ahead of their FIFA World Cup qualifying match in Hamilton. Despite missing several key players due to injuries, McLaren remains cautious, acknowledging Bermuda's team spirit and preparation. The match is one of two in CONCACAF Zone B, with Trinidad and Tobago also facing Curacao. Jamaica is aiming to return to the World Cup for the first time since 1998. Group winners will qualify directly for the 2026 World Cup, while the two best runner-up will enter intercontinental playoffs. In cricket news, St. Lucia Kings booked a Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League playoff berth with a commanding 7-wicket victory over Trinbago Knight Riders, rolling the hosts for 109 and knocking off the target with 53 balls to spare. The win, the Kings' fourth on the trot, vaulted them to first place and snapped TKR's 5-match winning streak.
Opting to bowl first, the Kings struck immediately. Carrie Pear removed Colin Monroe with the second ball, then returned to have Darren Bravo taken at short fine leg.
Someone settles, Alzari Joseph takes the catch, so 6 and out and a hush.
Nicholas Puran briefly steadied TKR.
He's taken that one down. 6 again, Republic back maximum again.
But Roston Chase ended the power play by bowling Alex Hales, and the innings unravelled from 40 for 2 to 59 for 5 by the 10th over. Tabriz Shamsi took centre stage, outfoxing Akil Hussain first ball before nailing the big finishers. Kyron Pollard and Andre Russell both bowled by sharp turn. Shamsi closed with a miserly 3 for 12, while Chase's 2 for 19 gained a key edge via DRS to remove Puran for 30. Lower order resistance from Nathan Edward and Terence Hines nudged TKR past 3 figures, but Delano Potgieter and Alzari Joseph tidied up to leave a modest chase. Tim Seifert made the task feel even smaller. He launched Akil Hussain over the leg side first up and rattled 25 of his first 10 deliveries, propelling the Kings to 66 for 1 by the end of the power play, despite Johnson Charles's early exit. Usman Tariq removed Seifert for a brisk 36 of 19 deliveries. And Sunil Narayan cut short Akeem Ogie's lively 28. But Chase peppered the rope with 3 boundaries in the 9th over, and Tim David applied a cool finish to seal the result in the 12th over. Beyond the points, the margin delivered a healthy net run rate boost for the Kings, and just as notably displaced TKR from the top of the table on their own home turf.
And that's it for the news on PBC Jamaica. You can watch us on our social media platforms at PBC Jamaica. Thank you so much for watching.